Now that the immobility of the will follows from the end in all separate souls, may thus be manifest. For the end, as has been said, is in appetitives, as the first principles of demonstration are in speculators. But principles of this kind are naturally known, and the error which should occur in regard to such principles would proceed from the corruption of nature. Hence, a man could not be changed from a true acceptance of principles to a false one, or vice versa, except by a change of nature. For he who errs about principles cannot be called back by something more certain, just as a man is called back from an error that is about conclusions. And in the same way, no one could be seduced from the true acceptance of the principles by any more appearances. And so it is towards the end, because everyone naturally has a desire for the ultimate goal. And this indeed follows in the universal rational nature, that it desires happiness, but that it desires this or that under the reason of happiness and the ultimate end happens from some special disposition of nature, whence the philosopher says that every man is such as he is, and the end seems to him. If, therefore, that disposition by which something is desired by someone as a final end cannot be removed from him, his will cannot be changed, as far as the desire for that end is concerned. But dispositions of this kind can be removed from us as long as the soul is united to the body. For the fact that something is desired by us as the last end sometimes happens from the fact that we are disposed in this way by some passion, which quickly passes away, whence also the end of desire is removed from the easy, as appears in the continence. And sometimes we are disposed to desire some end of good or evil by some habit, and this disposition is not easily removed, whence also such desire for an end remains stronger as it appears in moderation. And yet the disposition of habit in this life can be taken away. Thus it is manifest that in a disposition in which something is desired as the last end, the desire for that end cannot be moved, because the last end is most desired. Wherefore one cannot be recalled from the desire of the last end by something more desirable. Now the soul is in a changeable state as long as it is united to the body, but not after it has been separated from the body. For the disposition of the soul is moved by accident according to some movement of the body. For when the body serves the soul for its own operations, it is naturally given to it for this purpose, that what exists in it may be perfected, as if moved to perfection. When therefore it is separated from the body, it will not be in a state to be moved to the end, but to attain rest at the end. Therefore his will be immovable, as far as the desire for the ultimate end is concerned. And from the last end depends the whole goodness or malice of the will. For whatever goods a man wills in order to a good end, he wills well. But whatever evils in order to an evil end, he wills badly. Therefore the will of a separate soul is not changeable from good to evil, although it may be changeable from one will to another. Yet it is kept in order to the same ultimate end, from which it appears that such immobility of the will is not inconsistent with free will, the act of which is to choose. For the choice is of those things which have an end, but not the end of the last. Just as then, it is not inconsistent with free will that we desire happiness and shun misery in common with an immovable will, so it will not be contrary to free will that the will is carried immovably towards something determined as the ultimate end, common. So then that special disposition will remain immovable, by which this or that is desired as the last end. Now separate substances, that is, angels, are nearer, according to the nature in which they are created, to ultimate perfection than souls. because they do not need to acquire knowledge from the senses, nor to reach conclusions by reasoning from principles like souls. But through the species introduced, they can immediately arrive at the contemplation of the truth. And therefore, as soon as they had reached the end of their duty, or had clung to what was not, they remained motionless in it. However, it is not to be estimated that souls, after resuming their bodies in the resurrection, lose the immobility of the will, but persevere in it.